Gotta find my way to you, even though you're next to me. No matter what I do, your heart is drifting out of reach. Head on the water, I'm swimming harder, trying to keep this alive. Gotta find my way to you, now that our love has capsized. Gotta find my way to you, even though you're next to me. No matter what I do, your heart is drifting out of reach. Head on the water, I'm swimming harder, trying to keep this alive. Gotta find my way to you, now that our love has capsized.
Hello, Leila Yurivna. My name is Asel. Very nice that you agreed to an interview, and we're really thankful that you are for being able to take the time to ask. So, first question about yourself, about environment you grew up, and about the role of higher education in it.
Okay, well, thank you very much for such a question, because now I suppose we underestimate the importance of both environment and also higher education. As for me, I don't think that I should focus on my person, but in my humble opinion, higher education and good education should be the center of our life. It should be the core. My environment, I suppose I should just tell about my parents first of all, and my family. Both mother and father were engineers, and they worked in the field of geology, so higher education was an important value in our family.
Yes, and what or who is the biggest pride in your life?
The biggest...
First question.
Okay. The biggest pride in my life? Okay, let me think of it. I suppose I'm unable to say who exactly is the biggest pride of my life, because I have many people who were biggest prides of my life. First of all, it were my parents. Then it was my grandmother. I suppose she formed me. She made a great contribution in the process of my upbringing. Also, I suppose my daughter, who just also graduated from Kazumoemia. Okay, and also I suppose my scientific supervisors, all my teachers were the biggest pride in my life, I suppose.
It's really interesting. So next, can you tell us about your weaknesses?
Well, I suppose I am too stubborn. This is, I'm not sure whether it is a weakness. Sometimes it helps me to overcome some difficulties.
So next is, what helps you get rid of stress?
Just work and love. Just two factors which help everybody to get rid of stress, I suppose. As for me, I don't understand people who say I'm in depression, and I just remind my, unfortunately she passed away, my scientific supervisor, who said, when depression comes, I just say, my dear, please leave me, I have no time for you. Okay?
Yes, that's a really good way. So next is, can you tell us about the best advice that has brought you good results?
Okay, let me think of it. The best advice. Just okay, dear colleagues. I have just reminded one story about the musician, the Russian musician, actually the Soviet one, Nikolai Karetnikov. He just composed a symphony, and it was about just a tragic event. It was a tragic symphony. Okay, also just for somebody's death. And he asked one of the most famous Soviet conductors, Alexander Gauk, just to play it with the orchestra, okay? Gauk just looked at him and said, okay, I suppose you are a talented musician. Yep. He said, probably yes. And also your wife is beautiful and she loves you. Yes. And also your symphony, your previous symphony, was played by the great orchestra. Yes? Yes. What for are you thinking about tragedy and funerals and death? Just to be optimistic. Okay? Have you got it?
Yes.
Okay.
And tell us about your first job.
The same as I have now. Also the teacher, the university teacher. That's
Which
all.
university? This?
Your university.
Yeah.
Kazakh University of International Relations and World Languages.
So the next is, being a teacher is a huge responsibility. What does it mean for you to be a teacher? Why did you decide to become a teacher, and how much has she influenced you?
It's a difficult question. I can hardly remind how I decided to do that, to make the choice. I was interested in mostly philology and science. And to become a teacher, yes, it is a great responsibility. As for me, I was afraid of the audience at the first steps of my teaching career, and I had to overcome it. Probably if I choose my profession nowadays, or just now, I will make another choice, but I suppose it was also okay for me to become a teacher. also how much my profession influenced me. Yes, I suppose it changed my life because there are a lot of positive things concerning that profession. You should communicate to all the people. You should be human. You should just understand them, their circumstances, sometimes even to take their pain.
Can you single out any mini quality or qualities of a good teacher? Has there ever been a person in your life whom you consider your main mentor teacher?
Okay. My first education, it was Kazakh National University named after Al-Farabi, and also postgraduate study. All my teachers, I suppose, made great contribution, and everybody of them should be considered as a sample you should follow, because most of them were human. Most of them, they are professionals, first of all professionals, and also they were challenging people. They just improve themselves, their professional skills, and also they support us. So all of them, especially my scientific supervisor, unfortunately she cannot hear it, Nadezhda Ivanovna Gaiнулина. Okay?
And when you started your first job in our university, what really surprised you?
In our university, your current job?
No, I just changed question, sorry.
Okay. At this university?
No, in our Kazakh Ablayхан.
Okay, let it be. So, could you please repeat the question?
When you started your first job in our university, what surprised you most?
Surprised? Okay, dear students, it was not just different university, it was a different epoch in our life, yeah? My career actually started at 1990s. So, dear students, you can hardly imagine what we experienced. Anyway, what surprised me? Okay, I think the changes and stability at the same time. This is the how to say, dialectical background of all the teachers. Everything changes and everything is stable at the same time. For example, we have to adapt ourselves to the changing world, and it was the first surprise. The second surprise was that we should be stable, and the most important factor of stability is knowledge and human attitude to all the students. Okay?
What is your warmest memory associated with your students?
Well, all the memories are warmest. Probably one of my first groups, they were not excellent students actually, but they were human, and at the end of their study, they just sang the songs personally for everybody of us, for all their teachers. For example, about one of them, it was a man, middle-aged man. They just transferred and they just transformed the song, a famous song, «А нам все равно, а нам все равно». They just said, «Есть у нас аббат, это хорошо». So that was and impressive. The same about me, but I prefer just such a song because it is a little bit funny and ironical. For me, it was too sentimental about me. The song was too sentimental, so I like this one more. So just this group. Sometimes we just punish them, sometimes we understand them, sometimes we try to do our best together with them. Sometimes we're ready to cry because of the lack of background knowledge, but we overcame actually all the obstacles together.
Next, do you think education should be conducted in English?
Well, dear students, I don't think it is about all the specialties. For example, such a major as Kazakh language and literature, how can we imagine that it is conducted in English? Or, for example, in some cases, physics and math. Just the background knowledge, the lack of background knowledge will just be the reason for the lack of understanding of the subject itself. So probably we should combine Kazakh or Russian and English. In my humble opinion, the best way is to combine both native language and English, okay?
What would you change in the field of education?
Probably I am a conservative person, but also, in my humble opinion, it will be better to choose the previous model of education. 5-year-long education, first of all, for the universities. 5-year education, because you have enough time to study, to sit at the library, to think, and just it will be more profound than the credit-based system, because here we have, for example, 15 hours. Let me compare the situation. For example, let me tell you about my first education. One discipline in Kazakh National University, which we studied during our first year, was Latin language. Try to guess how many hours were dedicated to that subject.
3, maybe.
A week?
Yes.
No. We have 18-week semester, yeah, and in total for the whole year, we had more than 140 hours. As a result, our knowledge were profound. Even now, I'm able to remind a lot of phrases, and also I remember some details of Latin grammar. This is just one example.
So, what should a teacher be able to do first of all?
Very complicated question. First of all, he or she should be a professional. Secondly, he or she should support the students despite his mood, despite his own or her own circumstances, despite everything. And thirdly, he or she should motivate students. Yes, first of all, the teacher should be a motivator. Okay?
So, what would you advise us to future students?
To future teachers or students?
Teachers, sorry.
Just be open-minded and be ready to be challenging. Be ready to develop your skills and be ready for the lifelong learning. Never give up.
Thank you. So, what's your favorite quote?
My favorite? Sorry?
Your favorite
Quote? Wait a second, please. My favorite quotation. Okay. Let it be two Latin phrases. The first one, Amat Victoria Curam. The victory requires a strong preparation. My favorite quotation in Latin. Okay?
Yes, thank you. I think that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, dear ladies.
Yeah,
Thank
you
you.
too.
Nice to meet you.
You too.
See you again.
Yes, thank you very much. Bye.
Bye.